So it looks like we've got the name of the shooter. It's Jonathan Ross. And let me show you guys what's going on. It says the Minnesota Star Tribune has identified the ICE agent who fatally shot a 37-year-old woman, so that would be Renee Good, in Minneapolis Wednesday as Jonathan Ross, the same officer who was dragged and injured by a fleeing driver in a separate incident last year, meaning he's done kind of this stuff before. Article then from the Minnesota Star Tribune. Star Tribune identifies ICE agent who fatally shot woman in Minneapolis, Jonathan Ross. There are massive protests in Minnesota right now. Listen to this.
Show your face! Show your face! Show your face! Show your face! Show your face!
And they're going to get pushback wherever they go. That means the ICE agents, because Minnesota people are standing up. This is more. This says Minneapolis as the Bovino convoy goes through, and it says they're throwing like milky drinks at them or something. Let's watch. So I just want you to see there is a lot of pushback. We know the name of the shooter. I also want to show you this. This is in the UK. Listen to how they describe the situation, because I want you to understand that the whole world sees what's happening.
Genuinely, I did not sleep last night. I have seen that video. I've watched it in slow motion. I've seen different angles. And I am horrified that there is a 37-year-old woman, a mum, who had stuffed animals in the glove compartment of her car. You can see a video of her waving the ICE agents through. She then, one of the ICE agents then comes out of the car, tells her to get the F out of the car, goes to approach her car, get into her car. At that point, she reverses slightly to turn away and drive off. Her wheel is going away from him, does not hit the ICE agent. He chooses to fire at her 3 times in the face. She is dead as a result. They didn't even let a physician who was on scene saying, "Let me check her pulse." They didn't even let her go to her, let him go to her. And as a result, she is dead. And the most chilling thing about this isn't even the murder. It's the fact that we have the President of the United States, the Kristi Noem, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, saying that she was this violent rioter and basically saying that she used her vehicle as a weapon. This is the opposite of what anyone can see with their eyes, and this is chilling. This is like the ICE is the black shirts of Mussolini, it's the brown shirts of the Nazis. ICE is the exact same version for Trump.
Other people can see it too. This is in the UK. This is the name again of the person. I'll just read it again. Minnesota Star Tribune has identified the ICE agent who fatally shot Renee Good, right? And that's Jonathan Ross, and he has a history of this kind of stuff. J.D. Vance is going to try to defend these things. Let me show you guys a little bit of this.
The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job. The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous. The unprecedented thing is the idea that a local official can actually prosecute a federal official with absolute immunity. I've never seen anything like that.
All right, so I just want you to see it. It doesn't mean I agree with Vance or anything like that. I mean, Vance is clearly exposing himself as being a puppet of all this stuff. Here's the thing, guys. These kind of things, some of these people, Vance and everyone has to make their decision, are going to be on the wrong side of history. And that's why I showed you the even, people in the UK can see what's going on. Like anyone with eyes can see what's going on, that Vance and all these people are lying. So what's crazy, like in public, people at Vance are just going out and basically, hey, I'm a liar, everyone. Hello, that's me, J.D. Vance, the liar, right? And Noem and Trump and all of these people, Vance will make the case, oh, well, the orders are from Trump and from high up, and they're just following the orders. I mean, that's kind of the stupid arguments that they're going to make. Vance isn't hiding this stuff. He's putting himself out there as the big liar on his own platform here, social media. You can see a little bit here.
Does being part of that network justify being shot?
Well, being part of the network doesn't justify being shot, but ramming an ICE officer with your car, that's what justifies being shot. It's not a good thing, by the way, but when you force somebody to engage in self-defense, it's almost a preposterous question. I'm not saying that funding some of this stuff justifies capital punishment. Nobody would suggest that. The reason...
You get the idea. And again, they're on the wrong side of history of this one, and that's why it's really important that we have video evidence, and also important to mention that this Jonathan Ross guy, that's his name, he has a history of these kind of things, right? I also want you to see more. It's always important to see different points of view. This is someone who is a military veteran and talks about the ICE and how they do things. Just listen to this.
Yeah, they're terrorizing the population. I was just saying, like, one, in Afghanistan, we never wore masks. I went on 4 deployments. The only time we would wear like a face covering is maybe if it was cold and my guys were on a, you know, you were pulling security somewhere, or maybe it was dusty, you wore a shamag or whatever. But we didn't wear masks. Again, this officer is not wearing a mask. He's one of the leaders. That's smart. No one here is going to be going after him. If you're fighting the actual cartels and you're on the border, fine. If you want to protect your identity, totally makes sense. But they're wearing all this gear for no reason. This is coming from the top. They shouldn't have. They should have.
And you can see what he was saying, though. This is coming from the top, and he's delineated the difference between, like, say you're on the border fighting, you know, armed people or whatever, and then he's going to sort of talk about when the Trump people are going into communities dealing with civilians. It's a whole other thing, right? Listen to what he says.
Low-vis, bulletproof vests, or they should wear their vests underneath a smock. If you're going to be doing this, ICE should not be running around. None of these guys should be running around in plate carriers. They're against civilians. And they just got this huge budget, so why are they not wearing low-vis stuff? You know, it just makes no sense. It's here to intimidate everyone here. And they're trying to get, and then obviously Bovino. I mean, I don't know what he was doing. He took some glamour shots with a trench coat, and they're just trolling people. Yeah, he took it with a trench coat to look like he was some SS officer, literally. I was just like, I'm a history guy. I studied history, European history, World War II, and then as an officer, we studied a lot of history in the military. When I was at Captain Maneuver Career Course, we studied history. I mean, come on, you don't do this. I'll be honest, in Afghanistan, there's a thing called Pashtunwali. You know, if you came in and you intimidated the local populace like this and you beat up a bunch of people, they would hit back. That's how it works there. Americans are just very nice. They're out here protesting. Again, if these guys weren't here, none of these people would be here.
And I think that's a good way to put it. If these guys weren't here, none of these people would be here. And the reason why you have to put it in these terms is because Vance and all, you know, Trumpers and gnomes and all those kind of people are like, oh, these are all radicals. These are all just radical people, which is ludicrous, right? And that's why it's good to hear different points of view. I also want to hear from Professor Cornell West, what he has to say about this.
Let us be clear. Let us not be deceived. The murder of Sister Renee Good in Princess City, Minneapolis, is not just about one isolated incident. It is one step closer to American-style fascism, not just in terms of the rule of big money and big military, not just in terms of the grotesque wealth inequality, not just in terms of the scapegoating of brown immigrants, of black folk, of gays and lesbians, and the crushing of the working class and its trade unions. It's deeper than that. It's a spiritual issue that has to do with those who think that might makes right, that power can always trump any morality, and think that somehow everyday people, organized people, will cave in and give up and feel as if we're so hopeless and so helpless and so impotent. But no, I come from a great black freedom tradition that understands that no matter how much you gangsterize the world, we have a countervailing force inside of us, outside of us, among us. So yes, we respond with love of people in face of hatred of those people. Yes, we respond in terms of justice in the face of terror, and freedom in the face of unbelievable trauma. Yes, indeed. This is a moment in which more and more we're going to have to decide, are we willing to bear witness, to pay a cost, and to be true to those who came before in the face of this organized greed, this weaponized hatred, and this routinized cruelty in policy. Long live the name of Sister Renee. Yes, just like George Floyd, just like Breonna Taylor, just like so many others who have had the better cause of arbitrary power. Let us be always mindful of our spiritual, moral, and political power here in every corner of the globe.
And I need to see that too. So I I was a professor for many years, so I appreciate Professor West, and I just want to say that the change that we all want to see, you have to be part of the change. Everyone expresses themselves differently, so I always show you different points of view. And the thing that is the strength of America, I always want to make it clear, is the diversity. It is the power and strength of all the different voices, all the different points of view, all the different people that can come together and work together. And the Trump people try to make you feel like that, you're all divided and you should fight each other. And no, I mean, every day in the USA, there are neighbors from different backgrounds, different religions, different language that get along. And don't ever let the Trump people tell you otherwise. I do want to tell you, though, that it is true that the ICE people are trying to divide people. And this is why, truth matters. This is why facts matter, right? So right now, it says Minneapolis Public Schools canceled classes. Officials at Roosevelt High School said armed Border Patrol officers came on school property during dismissal Wednesday and began tackling people, handcuffed 2 staff members, and released chemical weapons. And as I said before, the same way Vance and his ilk, they're on the wrong side of history of this one. And the more this stuff goes on, you're going to have more and more of these people exposed. And we're going to get the names of all these people the same way that, Jonathan Ross, et cetera. There's records. I mean, you just follow the money. Midterms are coming. So I know that right now you want to talk about just the incident in Minnesota. And I think there's been multiple shootings with ICE. I was just looking through it. There's been a lot. So that's why Jonathan Ross guy have a history of this kind of stuff. All this stuff is like we're in an era right now. Everyone's got a camera and a in your phone. Everyone's going to record everything. And these people are, they think they can hide. Like they think, oh, I'm going to cover my face and collect a paycheck and I'm going to arrest my neighbors. You think you're going to hide it? There's going to be a day of reckoning coming where we're going to essentially, Congress will come in like right after midterm say, and it'll be like, yo, we're going to release the records of all who these people are, who did what, where, and when.
Oh!
I mean, you can see, you understand it, what I see. I see it too, guys. So just you're not alone. I see it. They're terrorizing our kids right now. They're killing our people. This is Jane. Jane says, I grew up with Renee Good. We weren't best friends or anything, but we would hang out. I remember jumping on the trampoline and listening to the Backstreet Boys with her. Everyone involved in these viral stories is a real person. Then this is a bit about Renee. It says, poet, writer, wife, Nicole Good, the woman killed by an ICE agent. A Good 37 had moved to Minneapolis last year from Missouri, loved to sing, and won an award for poetry, and that's her there. I guess she just moved in, and I think it was like her ex-husband or something. It was saying that they had dropped her kid off to work or at school. I'll just read it so you can understand what was going on. It says, according to her Instagram account, which features a pride flag emoji, she was, quote, experiencing Minneapolis after moving from Kansas City, Missouri. Her Pinterest profile shows her smiling and holding a young child against her cheek, along with posts about tattoos, hairstyles, and home decorating. Her ex-husband, who asked not to be named out of concern for safety of their children, told the Associated Press that Good had just dropped off her youngest son at school on Wednesday and was driving home with her partner when they encountered a group of ICE agents on a snowy street. He said, so to be the ex-husband, he said she was not an activist, had not taken part in any kind of protest that he was aware of. He said she was a devoted Christian who took part in youth missions in Northern Ireland. She was younger. When she was younger, she loved to sing, participate in chorus in high school, and studying vocal performance in college, he said. I think she went to like Old Dominion University, and again, there was a poetry. It says, this is in the neighborhood where it was. She studied creative writing at Old Dominion University in Virginia. According to a post of the school's English department Facebook page, the university president, Brian Hempton, said, quote, it was with great sadness that Old Dominion University mourns the loss of one of our own, Renee Good, a proud monarch who graduated in December 2020 from the College of Arts and Letters with a degree in English. Following Renee's tragic killing, our thoughts and prayers are with her family and friends. May Renee's life be a reminder of what unites us: freedom, love, and peace. My hope is for compassion, healing, and reflection at a time that is becoming one of the darkest and most uncertain periods in our nation's history. Also, what's going on is I guess they're arresting more people, and you just wanted to talk about these things. This is coming from Elliot Payne. I think he's a local official there in Minnesota. Let's listen.
I'm Council President Elliot Payne, and I'm on Lowry and Central. We just heard that 2 legal observers were arrested today. We are seeing increased ICE activity in the neighborhood, and we're asking all of our community members to show up for each other in this moment.
State Senator Doran Clark here, proud to be at Central and Lowry. We need to. This is now what we do. We stand up, we let our neighbors know that we are here, we're saying no, and we need to be visible and out. So if you're wondering what to do, get out, go for walks, make sure you are wearing a whistle. Elliot's got one. I'm gonna pick mine up now too, and we're gonna do the work.
Go to defend612.com to find out how you can get involved, and stay safe and stay vigilant.
So they're saying they're encouraging local people to wear whistles and essentially encouraging neighbors to look out for each other, which is what it should be, obviously. The Trump people are going to try to hide everything. So state officials say FBI is freezing them out of Minneapolis ICE shooting probe. So local officials are going to want to investigate, right? But stuff like that. But I guess the feds, the Trump people are going to try to cover up everything. And like I said before, and I know I always talk about the same movie, but it's called 1987 When the Day Comes. It's an old Korean movie. Just highly recommend it. But basically, just of it, in these moments in history, there'll be people who sign on to the cover up and people who won't, right? And so you may have some people in the Trump people are like, you're like, I'm resigning. I'm not refusing to put my name on illegal orders, or refusing to put your name on a cover up that where I'm telling you guys, midterms come a few weeks, a few months from now. You're all going to face penalties for this stuff. Do not be on the wrong side of history. I'm telling you the truth on these things. So that's my thoughts on this thing. I know there's a lot to go through every day, but I just try my best to give you multiple points of view and understand that things will get better. And again, neighbors should look after each other. And I'll catch you in the next video.